Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Steve Thomas, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the Blaenavon Heritage Railway. The railway is situated in the north of Torfaen, in southeast Wales, and it's the highest standard gauge railway in Wales. And it travels through the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Blaenavon, which incorporates a number of other attractions. It's a volunteer-run organisation. We run on weekends and bank holidays between April and September, but we also run on Wednesdays during the summer school holidays. The railway itself was originally started in the early 19th century, but we run it as a heritage line since 1983. What to see? You travel through the landscape of Blaenavon, which is very much an industrial style landscape. You've got the Big Pit Mining Museum, etc., along the route, and you've got excellent views over the eastern valley of the Blaenavon region. At Furness Sidings, which is our main station, there's a tea room, and we also have a small gift shop, which stocks a number of souvenirs, toys, games, and very wide range of Thomas the Tank engines. A round trip on the railway lasts approximately an hour to cover the whole trip, and our 4 stations at Furness Sidings, Big Pit Halt, Blaenavon High Level, and the Whistle Inn are ideally placed for people to visit the other attractions in the area. We've got discounted group rates, so if you just bring in a coach up on our standard running day, there's 10% off the standard ticket prices for 10 visitors, 15% off for 20 plus visitors, or 20% off for 30 plus visitors. That is on our standard running days. And the group rates apply for 1 complete round trip on the railway. You can charter a train if you wish. You wouldn't end up riding in the coal wagons as in the picture. We do have some very nice 1963 Mark III coaches, which have just been refurbished and are really highly polished, and something we're very proud of. You can charter a train for the whole day, and that includes 3 coaches and will seat up to 120 people. It's perfect for large tour groups. You can hire a carriage. If you don't want to hire a whole train for a day, you can just hire 1 coach for your exclusive use. And you can have that either for half a day, which we would class as 11 till 1, and then 1 till 3, or a full day, which obviously then would be 11 o'clock till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock return of the train to the station. That's perfect for smaller groups. On all our attractions for group visits like that, we can actually offer you other options such as cream teas, children's lunch boxes, and finger buffets. That can be done to your individual requirements. How to book a visit? Email us is the best way, because we're a volunteer-run organisation. Our volunteers are obviously not at the end of the phone 24/7. So email is the easiest way to contact us. Just state the day you wish to visit, the time, your total number of passengers, and any extras you require, such as catering requirements. We would then confirm your booking for you and submit the invoice, which you can pay on the day of travel. How do you find us? Well, we're just off the B4248 at Ganierw. That's our main station of Furness Sidings, and that's situated roughly halfway between Blaenavon and Bryn Mawr, very close to the A465 that heads to the Valley Road, which has excellent access then to West Wales, to the Brecon Beacons, the Black Mountains, and also then to across the other direction to the M5 and the M4. As you approach the railway, you'll find the usual tourist information signs, the little brown and white train signs. There's free car and coach parking available, plenty of space for coaches, and our postcode is NP498X if you're using the satellite nav. Don't use the satellite nav that you'll find on Google Maps because you'll end up on the other side of the valley. So it's NP498X is our actual location. Okay, so to discuss your requirements and to make a booking, email us at bookings@pbrly.co.uk.
Thank you.
Conditions, full terms and conditions of travel can be found on our website. I'd just like to finish off then with a little short video that was made for us, just to give you a little flavour of the railway. And there's a little end to it. We just recently had a visit from ITV, Coast and Country, and the railway will be featured on their first programme of the new series, which is on ITV Wales on Thursday, the 8th of July. So you'll be able to see the railway in more detail. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, Steve. Ryan just wondered if you could go through the 4 stops again, please.
Yeah, sure. This is the Whistle Inn. Whistle Inn is very close then to the Garn Lakes, which is a lovely little area for walks. And the Whistle Inn itself has an excellent display of mining lamps, etc. Then there's our Furnace Siding Station, which is our main hub, where all our sheds and our locals and coaches are stored, and that's close to the Garn Lakes as well. There's Big Pit Halt, which is within literally yards, walking distance of the main entrance to Big Pit. It's actually alongside the main car park in Big Pit station. And then our 4th station then is at Blaenavon High Level. If you were like there's a walk into town where you can visit the World Heritage Centre, Blaenavon Ironworks, or the actual distillery of Rumney Breweries, who do a tour. That's not opening until the end of July, though.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Okay, Kim.
Yeah, and the railway is a great way of joining together the elements of Blaenavon, you know, the Big Pit and the ironworks and everything else. If you can unshare your screen.
So we'll unshare you. Okay. And good luck to the rest of the people. And thanks, Kim, for hosting.
Thank you very much for being part of it. Now we're going, I hope, to Emma, yes, who's with Newport, and so she's going to take us around lots of the attractions in Newport. So over to you, Emma.
Thank you. If you just bear with me one moment, I'll just start to share my screen. Oh. Sorry, it was open just a moment ago. If you just bear with me. I can't seem to.
We'll go on to Lisa and come back.
Yes, please, if you don't mind. I do apologise, everyone.
No problem at all. Are you okay, Lisa, to go forward?
Yeah, bear with me a second.
Brilliant. So Lisa's the Welsh Mining Museum, Rhondda Heritage Park.
Let's have a look. Okay, hi everyone. Right, I'm not the best at technology, so I'm hoping this works. Here you go. So yeah, so I'm Lisa from the Rhondda Heritage Park.
Have you shared your screen?
Yeah, there you go.
I haven't shared it yet.
Oh, hang on. There we are. Can you see that now?
Yeah, just go to, yeah, that's brilliant.
Right, okay, so yeah, so I'm Lisa from the Rhondda Heritage Park, and we changed our name recently to Welsh Mining Experience. We're based in the old Lewis Merthyr colliery, 20 minutes from Cardiff, in a little village called Treftadaeth. So the colliery closed in 1983 as a working coal mine, and then the Wales Tourist Board at the time, Welsh Development Agency and the local authorities decided to take it over, and we opened as a tourist attraction in 1989, 32 years ago, and I've been here from the start, so I think I should be one of the artifacts, but there you go. So there's a couple of screens just to take you through that I'll show you. So that's obviously a shot of the chimney stack, which is 140 foot.
If you just want to put it on slideshow, then we'll see the whole, it'll take the whole screen.
Right, how do I do that? Let's have a look.
Can you go to the little screen on?
Oh yeah, right, great. Is that better?
Yeah, go from current. Oh, from current.
Yeah. So what do I change it to?
No,
Sorry, Kim.
just press from current.
Yeah. Is that it? Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
there we are. We've got the full picture now.
Marvellous. So how do I change then down to the next screen with that, so that I know what it is?
Just press forward on your...
Oh, right, amazing. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, as I said, me and technology. So yeah, so this is a shot of our chimney stack and our two pithead winding gears, which, you know, iconic. You can see obviously throughout the rest of the valley. So we're proud to say that we've still got 3 ex-coal miners who are our tour guides, and they're still working with us, the oldest of which is coming up to 80 in this year. A lot to offer other than the underground element of the tour. We've also got the guided surface tour, which incorporates changing exhibitions. We've got the items in the yard, which are, you know, the chocks and the different things that you would see within the colliery. The 2 engine houses are still home to the winding gear that would have taken you the colliers down and brought the coal up. They are still in working order. And then the lamp room then is where you'd go in to put the miner's helmet on, where they would have swapped the miner's helmet for the lamp check, obviously before going underground. I've got a little video here. There was a bit of a debate on which one to show you, but I think if you can bear with this one, it's about 3 minutes, but it gives an overall view of what we have to offer.
I was a boy in a man's world when I started here. That was a long time ago. Mind you, I didn't realise just how important this place was back then. To us, it was a job.
Oh, sorry. Ah, that's just, there you go. Apologies.
Don't touch anything now.
No, I won't.
I was a boy in a man's world when I started here. That was a long time ago. Mind you, I didn't realise just how important this place was back then. To us, it was a job, a back-breaking, sometimes heart-breaking way to make a living. But the coal from this pit went all over the world. This was steam coal, not the sort of thing you burnt in the home. It powered industry. Steam engines and factories and mighty steam ships criss-crossing the oceans were fueled by coal from under these hills and valleys. Perhaps the most famous ship of all, the Titanic, was powered by coal from under this valley. Coal from this mine went round the world, changed the world, 1 ton at a time. A ton in each dram, and on a good day 1,000 of these would come up from underground. That's enough coal to fill 50 double-decker buses each day. And deep. This mine went down as deep as the Empire State Building is high. Now look at him, the Marquis of Bute. A fancy title. Here's a man who made a fortune from others' work. Every ton of coal had to pass through the docks he built in Cardiff. And for each ton he charged a levy. This made him a rich man. Built himself 2 castles. For him the coal really was black gold. Ah yes, this takes me back. Gathering here every morning with my buddies and my brothers, grab your helmet and a safety lamp, and then down you went, 400 metres into the dark. Now that's what you called an extreme ride. It's not as far these days, but you still get the sense of what it was like.
From the bottom of the shaft, you could walk 1.5 miles to the working seam. A pick and a shovel, they were the tools of my trade. 8 hours in the dark in a typical day. And in the early days, even children as young as 4 worked down here. Fire! It was a tough place, a dangerous place. You learned to watch out for each other. All that time in the dark meant you appreciated the daylight and fresh air. Now it's all about the play area for the little ones, as it should be. Yes, Cole, it didn't just shape my life, it shaped these valleys, the landscape, the people, it shaped the nation. So many stories to tell. Fortunately, the canteen's changed a bit. Well, I hope you enjoyed that.
There you go. It's a bit long, I know, but I don't think I could have said it better than actually seeing what, what we've got to offer. So for groups, we've also got the coffee shop, and we're home now to what we call the Chocolate House, which is a company which they make their own chocolates and everything on site. So they provide group workshops as well, if that's of any interest. And we're also home to a company called Craft of Hearts, who are an independent company, and they've got a retail area and they do craft workshops as well. We got the souvenir gift shop with miners' lamps, slate items and love spoons, all your general souvenirs. And group rates. So we offer bespoke group tours. We're able to, we appreciate that every tour is going to be different, group size and the interest in the groups. At the moment, we're charging £6 for group entry per head. Obviously, the admission rates have changed with the VAT coding. Or you can have an uplift to £10, and that would include a miner's lamp check, a replica of what they would have had when they went into the lamp room. Books can, obviously groups can book in advance. We're not charging any cancellation fees at the moment due to COVID, and groups can be invoiced after the event based entirely on the amount of people who turn up on the day. We previously took 25 people in the lift at one time, but we're capping this at the moment at 10. That's based on general consensus of people and how many they feel they would be comfortable in the lift with. Obviously, if you're a group and people are being tested prior to going on the coach, then we would take into account, your bubbles and what you have there. It wouldn't really impact too much on the tour. It would just mean that we'd be in a smaller group, better for the groups, obviously, because it's more personalised, and we would let the groups go out in sort of 20 to 30 minute intervals. The normal tour takes about 90 minutes, but obviously we can change that if you've got time constraints. So as I said, we're based in a little village called Treftadaeth, about 20 minutes from Cardiff, off junction 32 on the M4 and just up the A470, close to the Royal Mint and other attractions, which we work closely with at the moment. We currently open Tuesday to Saturday, 9 until 4:30, but we do open out of hours on Sundays and Mondays if your group are restricted to days that they can travel. That's a little bit about us with everything. We also we've got some suggested itineraries, but I'm conscious of the time. So if anybody wants me to share them, I can, but obviously that's something I can take up individually with people if they, if they want.
That is brilliant, Lisa. Thank you very much. And that film did really tell the story of mining, mine experience, or whatever your name is.
Yeah, and incidentally, the guy is our 80-year-old miner, the Graham, the handsome chap. He's our oldest coal miner, so he does us proud.
That was brilliant. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
You can unshare your screen.
There you go.
That's absolutely brilliant. Any questions, of course, pop them into the chat box and we'll pick them up as we go along or at the end. Okay. So we're going to try and go back to Emma to see if you've managed to solve your problem. Emma, are you there?
I am. I do apologise, Kim. It's the same problems happened again. Maybe it's best to go on to somebody else. I am sorry, everybody. This has never happened before.
So I'm down to speak in a minute, and I don't think my presentation's open, so I don't know if it's going to work. So I'm in the same boat as you. So that's fine. We'll go on. Stephanie Metzen from Hensol Gin. Are you? Yes, Steph's here.
Yep, got me.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I'm another technophobe, so I'll do my best. But we'll. It didn't work last week, but hopefully it will this week.
Yes, it will. Come on.
Try starting to share the screen. Oh, there we go.
Yep, we've got your film.
Right there. Okay, we're there or thereabouts. Great. So my name's Stephanie Metz, and I'm marketing manager for the Vale Resort, Hensol Castle, and Hensol Castle Distillery. I met quite a few of you last year, I believe, on the 1st of March, where we did a quick tour of the distillery as it was then, but a lot's changed since then. So for those of you who don't know us, the Vale Resort and Hensol Castle are both on the same estate. The Vale Resort is a 143-bedroom 4-star hotel, 2 championship golf courses, Wales's largest spa, and exceptional sporting facilities. We're currently home to the Wales rugby and football team, although after them being knocked out last weekend, there's a few sad faces around the place. Hensol Castle itself is just a wedding venue, and it will probably just stay as a wedding venue for a few years to come yet. In 2019, we built Hensol Castle Distillery in the cellars of the castle. It's probably about the size of half a football pitch. It's quite a large area, and yeah, it's a good space to go through. We've been distilling and bottling spirits for ourselves and for other people since we opened in 2019. We produced hand sanitizer during the pandemic, as I think most other distilleries did, to help out where we could. But the visitor attraction was due to open in March last year, and we're now looking to open in September this year, September the 4th to be exact. I don't have a lovely fancy video to show you, I'm afraid, or beautiful photography, because it's all being done at the end of this month in readiness for opening. So what I have got is this handheld walkthrough, but at least it'll give you some idea of the size and scale of the place. So as you go through the gates and up the drive, you'll see the football pitches and rugby pitches on the left-hand side and the castle in front of you. I'm going to take you around to the front of the castle just to show you how beautiful it is. Only the bride and groom and wedding guests will go in through this entrance, but I just wanted to show you, even on a very dull day when we took this, how beautiful it is. Then it's back to the side entrance. This is where visitors will come. Anybody on a gin making or gin tour. We've built a bus bay on the right-hand side here for easy drop-off, and all visitors will go in through the clock tower entrance. So once inside, your tour guide will collect you all up, and then it's down into the cellars. So first stop is here, just at the bottom of the stairs, where we'll greet you with a gin and tonic to get you in the mood for the tour. And then it's on the tour where you'll learn all about the history of gin, followed by the history of Hensol Castle, and fun facts about gin. Now, we think this is about 40 metres. It doesn't feel like 40 metres, because I think when you're talking and walking slowly, but it is a nice walk, a gentle walk. And then it's into our botanical room. In the botanical room, you'll be able to see production through the windows going on. On the tables in front of you, there will be iPads. They're not there yet. We've got quite a few finishing touches to do. We've got 8 weeks to go, so all these rooms have got to be finished off. but they will have iPads on each corner. You'll be able to flick through, learn about botanicals, where they come from, how they affect your gin. You'll be able to see a small video on how to make gin. And in this room as well, you'll have a gin tasting. And this will be 4 of our favourite gins for you to try. And then at the end of the tour, when you get to the bar, you can hand your tasting card in and have a full glass of whichever one you like the most. If the gin school isn't in use, we'll be able to go into there quickly so we can show you anybody on gin making. We'll spend 2.5 hours with our master distiller, basically making, distilling, bottling and taking home their own gin. Okay, then it's back out and back up the ramp to the all-important bar. And as I say, in here, it's a nice big bar area, lots to do in here yet. The area on the left is going to be the shop, which we need to stock with everything, but it's a nice bar, plenty of space, and you'll be able to have your full gin and tonic. Any drivers, obviously, we will give them a takeaway gin and tonic so they can enjoy the experience at home. So that's where you will be left to finish your gin and then head off. I'm just going to take you back upstairs, because in reception at some stage when we open, we will be offering afternoon tea in this area here, which you can add on to a tour or include in a tour. There's plenty also of outdoor space. The gardens are being worked on currently, so this is quite old. There's fountains in there, there's seating, and visitors will be able to walk around outside. We also have a walled garden, and again, they're quite welcome to have a wander around there. So that's the end of that. I hope it's been okay. As I say, when I get the promotional video and the photography, I will send it on to everybody. How to find us? We're just 2 minutes off junction 34 of the M4. Again, about 20 minutes from Cardiff and about 15 minutes from the Royal Mint. Opening times, we're going to open slowly on a Friday and a Saturday. However, for groups, we're available to open whichever day of the week suits the group. Tour size is the issue for us again, as I'm sure it is with everybody. We were hoping to do 25 on a tour, but we're currently opening with 12. The cost of the tour is £25, and that's a gin and tonic on arrival, tour of the distillery, tutored gin tasting, and a tour of, and a gin and tonic at the end. How to book? All group bookings are managed individually by phone or by email, so either through the website or email me at marketing@hensolcastledistillery.com. Thank you for your time today. I hope that all makes sense. Any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, that was great, Steph. And if you unshare your screen.
We're going to try that now. Yeah.
Brilliant. Then the most important thing is that in your packs, hopefully you can see this, you have a bottle of gin from Emma. Can you unshare your screen, Emma? You've gone so fast. Thank you. In your box of goodies that's arrived, you should have, or you will have, a bottle of crochet gin. So you've named all your gins after people associated with the place, haven't you, Steph?
Yes, we have. Yeah.
So the taste of the pudding is in this bottle. So do enjoy it. Maybe not at lunchtime, but definitely this evening with a nice cool tonic or whatever your favourite tipple is. And thank you very much, Steph, for putting these in the parcel to send out to everybody.
No problem. Thank you.
Any questions? Pop them in the chat box, please. Right. So Emma, we know you've got your PowerPoint this time, so it's over to you.
Thank you. I do apologise again, everybody. I rejoined, so it was fine. So good afternoon. My name is Emma and I'm the project manager at the Newport Transporter Bridge. If you want to see aurochs, incredible work by Welsh artists and international figures, an iconic feat of engineering and the preservation of a 15th century merchant vessel, then look no further than Newport Museums and Heritage Service. With 3 sites across the city, we reveal the diverse and captivating history of Newport with the stories of our communities. How did the Romans decorate their homes? Is it true that lions and bears once roamed Cowent? And what happened to the leaders of the Chartist movement? Uncover the answers to these questions and see many weird and wonderful things at Newport Museum and Art Gallery. The second oldest museum in Wales, it tells the story of the city through archaeology, social history, natural sciences and art. Visitors can explore the fascinating history of the Gwent levels through our new prehistory display. The submerged prehistoric landscape of the Severn Estuary is amongst the most ancient landscapes in Western Europe. Finds include rare stone tools made by Neanderthals, some of the oldest human remains discovered in southeast Wales, the most complete skeleton of an extinct auroch, and sections of the Upton Trackway, the first hurdle trackway discovered in Wales. The art collection includes works by Sir Stanley Spencer, L.S. Lowry, Dame Laura Knight, and James Fluett Mullock. It illustrates the changing face of South Wales's rural and industrial landscape and includes donations from the Arts Council of Wales and to the Contemporary Art Society of Wales. Visits must be booked in advance through the website, but admission is free and a meet and greet can be arranged. There are currently restrictions on numbers in the gallery, but as we are located in the heart of the city centre, there are plenty of coffee shops nearby, or visitors can enjoy some light shopping while admiring the Victorian architecture of the High Street and arcades. The Newport medieval ship. The remains of the vessel were found preserved in the mud in the banks of the Usk during construction of the Riverfront Theatre. Older than the Mary Rose, the ship has been undergoing conservation in a warehouse in Estuary Way. Excavation of the artefacts and remains on board suggested the ship probably sailed the Lisbon to Bristol trade route and was built in the Basque Country. Putting the Newport medieval ship back together is described as the world's biggest 3D jigsaw puzzle, and you can see how the team are taking on this challenge. Visitors to the ship centre can see many of the conserved timbers along with a number of artefacts and some of the first pieces to be put back together. Many of the other artefacts from the wreckage are on display at the Museum and Art Gallery. Again, there is no charge for group visits, which must be booked in advance, but donations to the Friends of the Newport ship are always welcome to help support the ongoing conservation of this important piece of history. Guided tours and introductory talks are available. Coach parties are welcome with parking outside the venue, and limited refreshments can be arranged on request. The medieval ship and Museum and Art Gallery are ideal for a combined day visit for groups. The story of the Newport Transporter Bridge includes protest, war, industry, innovation, but more importantly, people. The steel superstructure has been part of the city's skyline since it opened in 1906. It is the world's most complete surviving transporter bridge. Standing at 242 foot tall, it is a giant with the grace of Apollo and the strength of Hercules. Following funding from the National Lottery Heritage Fund, Welsh Government and Newport City Council, the Grade 1 listed structure will undergo extensive restoration. A new 3-storey visitor centre will be built on the west with a cafe, multiple toilet facilities including a changing places toilet, shop, community space and a dedicated gallery will help to bring the story of the bridge to life. The gallery will feature the stories of those who built the bridge, designed the bridge and used the bridge. Individual physical barriers and weather can often prevent visitors from making the climb to the top walkway. In the new gallery, people will be able to experience walking across the bridge through an interactive walkway. Floor-mounted screens and metal railings with wind and sound effects will create a fully immersive and accessible experience of being on the bridge itself. There will be more car parking spaces for visitors, a convenient coach drop-off point, and an exciting activities programme, including theatrical performances, guided tours, and mindfulness sessions. Ideally located on the Wales Coastal Path, visitors will discover more about the wider natural environment, and improvements will be made to the immediate landscape with outdoor seating and viewing platforms. Although the site will remain closed now until spring 2023, the team are delivering online talks to interested parties, and a behind-the-scenes programme of short videos from site are underway. Bookings can be taken for summer 2023 with reductions available for groups. This is a fantastic opportunity to be amongst the first visitors to the newly developed site. For further information or to discuss your requirements, then please get in touch using the platforms on the screen. We look forward to welcoming you very soon.
Thank you, Emma. It's really exciting what's happening in Newport. There was a question through the chat about coach parking. What's that going to be like at the Transporter Bridge once the new developments happened?
We will have coach parking facilities in the public car park just across the road from the visitor centre, and there's also coach parking facilities we're hoping in the city centre in the next couple of years as well.
So they could drop. Can they drop off at?
You can drop off right outside the visitor centre, yes. And like I said, there should be parking facilities across the road for the coaches.
That's great. Going to make it easy, and it's going to be great that, you know, people like me with my arthritic knees who would never get up to the top of the Transporter Bridge unless I was hoisted up will be able to get that experience. It's going to be a fantastic development. I'm really excited about it.
Thank you. Yes, no, definitely. And I think that the interactive walkway in particular is something that's been very exciting for future visitors.
Yes, great. Thank you ever so much, Emma.
Thank you.
Now, on the schedule, it's Parc Slip, but Parc Slip, unfortunately, well, I'm going to do their presentation if I can find the presentation. If not, I'll have to do it later on. So let me try and share my screen. It's not going to let me do it, I don't think. Let me just, you have to bear with me a second because I'm going to have to go through and open something. Sorry about this, everybody. It's my fault for not thinking ahead. So could somebody unmute and tell me that you can see the presentation, please?
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you, Alice. Right, so unfortunately, Gina, who is so enthusiastic about Parc Slip, isn't able to be here because she's on a boat with a film crew chasing around the sea off Newquay at the moment. So she's doing something really exciting and has left me with her presentation. So I hope I will do her justice. So Wild About Wildlife, this is really the whole remit of the Wildlife Trust, and there are 47 wildlife trusts across the UK, 6 of which are in Wales, and their whole mission is to create wildlife havens near to busy built-up communities and to inspire people to really protect and nurture our wildlife around us. So the West and South Wales, or South and West Wales Wildlife Trust is the largest geographically, and it runs all the way from Aberystwyth down to Cardiff, and it's got 110 nature reserves, 4 visitor centres and 2 beautiful islands, and that's Skoma and Stockholm. I'm sure some of you have been on trips to those. So it includes magnificent coastline. In fact, it's half of the coastline of Wales, rugged mountains, ancient woodlands, and historic rich ex-coal mining sites as well. So Parc Slip is a real oasis, and what's so amazing is that, as we'll see, only a few years ago it was an industrial site. So it's a perfect place for a wild family adventure, and that family can be your group of all descriptions. Just 5 minutes off junction 36 of the M4. Just follow the brown and white signs. There's 300 acres and some are home to some of Wales's rarest and most precious wildlife, from endangered great crested newts that breed in the ponds and lakes to the elusive harvest mouths. Indeed, there are 1,000 species known to exist on this 300 acres. But as well as that, there's 400 kilometres, not 400 kilometres, 4 kilometres of traffic-free cycle paths and bridle paths, and 10 kilometres of walking trails. And it's a great place for getting back to nature, for getting your camera out and trying to capture it, taking your paint box out, doing painting or whatever, and really just relaxing in the environment. So as I said, you know, it's amazing that back in 1989, you still had the scars of the previous industry here. and it's since then that it's been converted into a wildlife haven. So tragically, back in 1892, there was an explosion on the site that took the lives of 112 men and boys. And so there's still an annual memorial event every August on the site of the explosion. And there's now a memorial park, bench, and a wildflower patch. And there's a new wooden sculpture. So here you can combine that whole thing of history and heritage and just see how nature will reclaim. Parc Slip is one of the Valleys Regional Park gateway sites. There's 11 of them across the region. And so that's been a way of directing funding into improving these sites. So there's been improvements in new signage, undercover cafe canopy, walking trails, boardwalk, community orchard, green roof bike shelter, new tables for the cafe, the memorial park and sculpture, and a marketing campaign. And within that marketing campaign, there's a really innovative development, which is a virtual reality tour. So you can get a taste of what's in the area through these headsets. And literally you are taking you are the kestrel flying through the landscape and meeting up with the badger and the Highland cattle. So kids love these experiences, but they're great for all of us. And these are, if you spot the Wildlife Trust out advertising, then you'll be able to have a go. You can also look at the actual run through on their YouTube channel if you fancy doing that. And they're doing a lot with connecting with wildlife, connecting out from the site. So recently they did a live broadcast with Yola Williams and Lizzie Daly, and over 2,500 people tuned in. And there were lots of videos about the wildlife on the site, from the moths to the cattle. It was a great celebration of nature. And it was highlighting those key experiences across the area. So for groups, they have a fantastic cafe. The cakes are to die for, all homemade. And there's a room upstairs that can be used with a lift. So if you have any disability issues, so it can be set up just for you with a buffet or whatever else. Also, if you'd like a guided tour with notice, they can arrange for a guide or one of the volunteers to take your group around the site and to identify those hidden gems of nature that are all around us and that we often don't even see. So Parc Slip is a really great place to include in a programme to Southern Wales, a real breath of fresh air and an opportunity to relax and to enjoy the nature that we have around us. So Gina's information will be on the pack I send out to you, and she'll be delighted to answer any questions. And if you want to visit, to have a look around before planning your visit, then she'll be happy to arrange that for you as well. So that's me. It worked. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for putting up with my IT issues, but we got there. So the final one in this group, in this section, is Alice, who's going to take us to Porthcawl, because it is a gem.
Hi, Kim. Just to say thank you so much for doing Parc Slip such great justice. I wouldn't have done so well had handed someone else his presentation at short notice. So here we go. Am I sharing?
Yes, you are.
Fantastic. So hi everybody, I'm Alice Brown from Bridgend County Borough Council. I'm Destination Management Officer for Bridgend County, but today I'm going to talk to you specifically about Porthcawl. Porthcawl is just down the road from Parc Slip, and it's our beautiful unspoilt Welsh seaside resort. And I'm hoping to entice you to bring your groups here. So, if you're not sure exactly where Porthcawl is, I think you'll have a pretty good idea of where everywhere in the region is today, but by the end of today. But it's really easily accessible by road. It's midway between Cardiff and Swansea, easily accessible off the M4, and the graphic here shows travel times by road from key points of entry. So we're talking just over an hour from the Severn Bridge and less than 2.5 hours from Birmingham. Porthcawl is popular with groups, both as a place to stay or for a day visit. Even a half-day visit combined with park slip would be a lovely option. There's a variety of places to stay, but the sea bank shown here on the slide is prime location right on the seafront and really geared up for groups. Another particularly good group hotel in our area and just down the road from Porthcawl is the Best Western Heronston Hotel, who you're also hearing from today. So what is there to do in Porthcawl? First of all, you can have a lovely browse around the town, enjoying the seafront cafes and restaurants and the town's independent shops. There are a variety of ways to get around Porthcawl, obviously by foot, but we also have a cycle path which runs the length of the seafront, and there is cycle hire available in the town. Two new additions this year, which we're really excited about, which just offer a different way to experience the place. Launched in May is the open top double-decker bus. It's been really popular. Every time you see it go by, it's full, and it is wonderful. As someone who's been based in Porthcawl for some time, it's so lovely to see it from a completely different perspective. Then later in the year, the land train is arriving in Porthcawl, and that too will go back and forth along the seafront, but it's a much slower pace. It's a shorter route, and that's a hop on hop off service as well. So for history in Porthcawl, we have the wonderful Porthcawl Museum. It's run by volunteers, and it is an absolute treasure trove of archives. It's a tiny TARDIS of a place. It used to be the police station, but there's an incredible amount of things to see there. The volunteers who run the museum really do welcome groups, and they're very happy to tailor talks to specific areas of interest. And we'll even come to groups perhaps where they're staying if that's suitable, rather than the group coming to the museum, or in addition to that. There's also the iconic 1930s Grand Pavilion on the seafront, which also happens to be the coach pick up and drop off point for the town. So it's really handy because it's an absolute can't miss building. Everybody recognises it, everybody knows where it is, and it's really central as well. And there's a really wide range of performances in normal times. They're gradually moving towards reopening, but real diverse offer there, and as well as a wonderful cafe. So we are really proud of our new water sports centre in Rest Bay, which opened in 2019. So as well as a year-round water sports facility offering surfing and stand-up paddleboarding, the centre boasts an absolutely stunning cafe. You can see the upstairs glass-fronted cafe in the picture there. And this has absolutely fantastic panoramic views of the Blue Flag beach at Rest Bay. So it's open year round. It's a lovely place to be, whatever the weather, but I can't think of a better place to watch a storm. And we do have some pretty spectacular storms in Porthcawl, I can assure you. So Rest Bay and the Water Sports Centre is also a good place from which to start walks. Walks of whatever length people want. So there are sections of the coast path from Porthcawl that are very easily accessible, boardwalks, but then there are also far more challenging walks for those who want them as well. Either side of Porthcawl, we have two nature reserves, Cenfig and Mae'r. They're both havens for wildlife and absolutely wonderful for walks. So I can't talk about Porthcawl without mentioning the iconic Porthcawl Elvis Festival, which takes place every September, COVID permitting. Obviously, it didn't happen last year and it's unlikely to happen this year as well. But in normal times, thousands of people descend upon the small town of Porthcawl to enjoy all sorts of Elvis impersonators and to dress up. And it's a real sight to behold, whether you're an Elvis fan or not. Again, in normal times, we have quite an array of events in Porthcawl. 2 examples that I've put on here are the P1 Aquacross event, which was a jet ski and powerboat event. Really fantastic spectacle to watch. It drew quite sizable crowds and I thoroughly enjoyed watching that, although I'd never dream of going on a jet ski myself. Another popular event for all sorts of groups is the RNLI Rescue Fest, which usually happens annually. If you can spot Snoopy there in the background, just crossing the road in front of the Grand Pavilion, we're really looking forward to hosting an extension of the Dogs Trail, which is a Dogs Trust event centred around Cardiff, but they're having little mini trails around the region next spring, and we're delighted to be hosting a mini trail here in Porthcawl. So that draws me to a close. I hope that's given you a little taste of what we've got to offer in Porthcawl, but we really do welcome groups here in Porthcawl. And obviously any questions after this, I'm more than happy to have a chat to people.
Thank you ever so much, Alice. Yes, look at Porthcawl with new eyes, and Rest Bay is my favourite place. Always used to go there as a family. So thank you ever so much, Alice.